Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting wabbit.
In a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the
Rabbit Hole Podcast.
Live from underground.
If you could excuse me there, sir, I do believe that there is something going on in the back alleys of East London. Would you be able to help me go find my prostitute bride?
Can I finish my Uncrustable?
Possibly, if as long as you're opening it up and gaping it.
Bro, fucking gaping and Uncrustable?
That's what all these women had in common.
You know what?
Hello,
I
everybody.
hate
Welcome.
to say I've seen that happen.
Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are talking about Jack the Ripper, and my name is Mr. Mako, and you guys can introduce yourself as you do.
My name is Galvin. Hi, nice to meet you. Greetings.
You think you'd figure this shit out already?
Every time that I say you guys introduce yourself, I just start counting in my head to see how long it takes.
I finally get to see how Gal reacts during the podcast, and now I'll understand when he goes silent. And I'll actually look over and know what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Hey, what's up, you beautiful bastards? My name's Zero Cool.
My name's Shredderfire. I don't have my hands right now. I'm eating an Uncrustable.
He's a side hoe.
Uncrustable.
Hi, I'm Rusty. You can catch me on Twitch.
Last but not least.
It's just a phase.
I like it. Shh. You don't know.
It's just a phase, Mom.
It's not a phase, Mom. It's just a phase, Mom. But, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not a phase. Oh.
See, now we're on our blue phase.
But, hey, today we're going back in time to the great areas of London back in 1888, 1890s. It's all between there. Like, all of the killings happened in between 1888 and 1891. So we're going in between there. But why what?
Why did all the killings happen then?
Because 1880s in London was not really fun.
People were restless. Police was not great.
Great.
What happened during that time frame? Like, that was just a time frame of a lot of murders, a lot of gruesome deaths, a lot of not fun things.
London was not fun. Police was. Police.
Police were just like police. That's all they were. Police.
Scotland Yard.
It is Scotland Yard.
Well, see, in the East End of London, and from 1882, there was a lot. I don't know why I'm still doing the accent, but there is so many people in London that there was literally people living on top of people.
I'm flipping myself off.
Thank you for that very nice image.
Why do you hate yourself?
Like what you and it's kind of
I'm-
like what you and Rusty are doing. Right now.
I'm flipping his face, and he's pointing his camera at his monitor so I can see myself. flipping me off.
I know.
What I imagine on that, people living on top of people, I just imagine a bunk bed that just extends up like an entire building, and there's a really tall bunk bed.
I thought it was just a dog pile.
You know how like the stacks are in freaking Ready Player One.
Oh yeah, it's kind of it was kind of like that. Yes. Like you could get
recalibrate.
you could get like in 1888 you could get a 4-penny coffin, where it would basically it was 4 pennies to purchase a bed inside of a room. This is what way you could be inside. And it was 4 pennies to sleep there a night, and the bed was shaped like a coffin. They called it a 4-penny coffin.
Sounds like a hotel, but cheaper.
And then you could get the 2-penny rope, which was not
A noose?
inside. They were really fucking dark. It was a 2-penny rope where it cost you 2 pennies to get like this hammock-like thing. You'd be off the ground, but you'd be laying around. And then you could pay 1 penny just to sleep inside, but you don't get a bed. You just get a corner of the room. This is
Actually, hold on. This was what
sleep
year
in the
was
corner.
this?
80.
This was 1880s London.
Ooh, I'm gonna do some math.
Meh.
What you
Get in the corner, bitch.
What are you doing? Looking for like a fucking influx of what it would cost today for 1 penny versus now?
Yeah.
I think it only goes back to like 1910 and the influx right now.
Let me see. Coin Tracker has
Oh my
estimated that the 18. Wait, so this is in London, right?
Yes, London, England.
Okay, UK. There we go.
Chip tip cheerio. That is not to be racist to any of our London listeners. I apologize. But
Oh,
it's a beautiful
what the
city.
fuck? It's estimated that the Indian head penny has an average of 6. One in certified mint condition could be worth 165. So literally, I mean that's you $6 to sleep in a corner.
$6 to sleep in a corner for a night.
For one night.
For one night.
That's it.
For
No
one
more
night
or less.
only, you can have a shreddy.
What? I'm not a corner.
See, back then,
Oh,
like
I think it means in one night.
So
back
one night
then,
stand.
there was like 2 places you could be like that you could work at, and that was sweatshops, or sweatshops and or butchery places. And a lot of the women that was coming in that was from Irish things, like you could make more money being a prostitute than you could make being a sweatshop, and they were just making money that way they could feed their family or just sleep inside. That way they wouldn't have to be outside in the elements.
Imagine sleeping inside.
And see, back then in London was a really fucking dark place, especially East London. East London, it was a lot of butcher shops because there was a lot of meat going in and out. So there was literally people walking down the street with blood-stained overalls and bags full of meat over their
Meat going in and out. Sorry.
Face, stop it. You already said it yourself.
I don't like that image.
Get
Stop.
off of me.
I mean, if you think of it like this, the Ripper had a perfect place. This was a perfect breeding ground for someone like this.
It was the perfect shithole.
And
for what he was about
diseases.
to do.
Mm-hmm. See,
I
Jack the
mean-
Ripper was an unidentified serial killer. He still has never been identified.
No, I think he's
I mean,
been
yeah, you're
identified.
not
I'm pretty sure I
wrong.
read about it somewhere.
But wait,
They
You mean
they don't
no?
know if it's 100%
They don't-
confirmed.
Yeah.
there isn't there a theory that there were multiple?
No, the one I read is
Oh,
like
yeah.
they did
There is-
confirm it with DNA.
Yeah, there is multiple theories of the Jack
Yeah.
the Ripper, but he was active
who it
largely
is.
in the improvised, poverty-stricken areas, in and around Whitechapel district of London in 1888. In both the criminal case files and contemporary journalist accounts, the killer was called the Whitechapel Murderer and the Leather Apron. Attacks
Yo,
described
should we leave you two to fucking?
This always happens.
I always get
Because you
distracted.
both are lazy fucks.
My
okay?
my
Oh.
bed goes
Eat it.
this way. His bed goes
My
this
bed
way.
goes this way.
This is
My
this
bed
just
goes
another,
this
like
way.
we said. I think it was not last week, but on the week before last when we done part 1 of John Wayne Gacy that we called you guys out for scissoring. Yes,
Scissor me timbers.
and the one thing I remember, like, stop making the Pornhub category, and you wanted to know when the next episode of the fucking I think it was family therapy. I'm like, no, Shred, no.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, when is the next
I
episode?
don't stop.
Ow, my head.
Attacks
Okay,
described
back to
to
prostitute and killing.
attacks is
Step ladder.
Attacks ascribed to the Jack the Ripper typically involved female prostitutes who lived and worked in the slums of East End of London, whose throats were cut prior to abominable mutilations. The removal of the internal organs from at least 3 of the victims led to the proposals that the serial killer had an entomological and surgical knowledge. Rumors that the murderers were connected intensified in September and October of 1888, and numerous letters were received by media outlets in
Excuse me?
Scotland
Bless you.
and Scotland Yard from individuals promoting to be the murderer. The name Jack the Ripper originated in a letter written by an individual claiming that the murderer was disseminated in the media. The letter is wildly believed to have been a hoax and may have been written by journalists in an attempt to heighten the interest of the story to increase the newspaper's circulations. The From Hell letter, received by George Lusk of the Whitechapel Vigilante Committee, came with half of the preserved human kidney. Oh my God!
Wow, what
Wait,
the fuck?
what?
Probably taken from one of the victims.
What a cheapskate! Couldn't even afford the full kidney.
We couldn't even afford the full kidney. They
Ah,
just sent him
dude.
half. The public came increasingly
They
to
probably
believe
sold
that
the
a
rest.
single serial killer known as Jack the Ripper, mainly because of both the extraordinary brutal nature of the murders and media coverage of the crimes. So imagine getting a letter and it's fucking half a kidney.
We just got a letter. We just
Oh
got
my
a letter.
God! We just got a letter. I wonder who it's from.
That's from a dude called Jack. I don't get it.
It's from this dude called Jack, and I see like half of us some weird media substance.
Why do you sound
Oh,
like
dude,
a, like
that's a
typical
kidney.
bro?
Dude,
Hey, wait,
bro.
where'd Diamond go?
Bro, that's a kid. Whoa, where did that?
Where'd Diamond go?
I mean, on a different note, freaking dude here in well, not here. It's in Montreal. Killed a dude. Fucking cut into pieces. Fucking send his body part to the freaking prime minister.
What?
Yeah, I heard about that.
What?
It happened. It was like I think it was like
So this
5
man killed
years.
another man and then chopped up this other man and sent it to the prime
This
minister.
man killed another man. He chopped up the other man to get the other man.
his name was Luca
Chew the
Rocco
back, chew the
Magnotta.
back, chew the back of spit.
Fucking
Spaghetti.
psycho.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just letting you go on about your thing.
Go down your rabbit hole.
Because
down
the thing you said about the letter, I was like, it just reminded me of that. It's a story that happened not long ago. I think it was like not even 10 years.
Remember whenever there was like a mysterious package, like just a letter that was dropped right outside the Pentagon, and they like had like a national emergency?
Oh
over it?
yeah, I do remember that actually.
Wait, what?
Somebody accidentally dropped like their mail in like they were walking out of the Pentagon. They had mail in their hand. They dropped one,
Dropped
and
the
then it
letter
caused like a
and they
national emergency. So they thought it was a
The
bomb.
hell?
In the mid-19th century, Britain experienced an influx of Irish immigrants who swelled the populations of the major cities, including the East End of London. From 1882, Jewish refugees fleeing pogroms in the fleeing from Russia and other areas in Eastern Europe immigrated into the same area. So they're all
What?
Yes, they're all immigrating. Everybody's
you
this is
okay?
immigrate area. No, I had a stroke. This is an immigrating area. Everybody's coming into London. They're all refugeeing away from wherever. Everybody's coming to London for some reason. But
Yes, phase. Yes.
Yes, phase. Yes.
What phase now?
No.
what?
Wait, what?
What?
We know phase. They do that.
He's
every
pointing at
fucking
you
stream.
guys, both Shred and Loistic, and he's doing the scissor gesture.
The
I
That's
love
all
how
I can
Galv
see
is
on my
just like
screen. So.
vibing, and he's probably playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
The parish of Whitechapel in London's East End became increasingly overcrowded.
It's been long
With the
since I've
population
ever
of
been in this
increasing
game.
to
Galv, what,
approximately-
show what's on. Oh, go, Galv. Show what's on your phone. Show us your phone screen.
If it's a dick pic, keep it for yourself, please.
If it's Yu-Gi-Oh, I swear to God.
Wait, okay, okay. What would you think it was Yu-Gi-Oh?
It's a DBZ game.
It's
No,
Dragon
no,
Ball
no.
Z. It's
No.
either Dragon Ball Z or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pornhub.
Okay, no,
or
okay. What happens if you're
All
right the
three.
first time?
what happens is what happens if Gal's over there planning to be the next Ripper?
He's just looking up our
No,
address.
How did they get them
again?
Okay, so what would you do if you were right the first time?
I wouldn't do anything. I'd just be disappointed in you.
Disappointing.
Oh, okay, yeah, thanks. Okay, no, it's not. Fuck off.
The parish of Whitechapel in London, East End, became increasingly overcrowded,
You're
with the
wrong.
population increasing to approximately 80,000 inhabitants by 1880. This is 80,000 people within a 5-mile radius.
In today's
Mhm.
numbers, that's not a lot.
That's fair enough.
My-
Yeah.
I mean, it
I feel
still
like I wanna
is,
kill
but
myself.
That's still a ton of
that's
people.
still a decent amount.
In a
But with
5-mile
modern-
radius. Well, yeah, but New York City, but it's smaller. It's much
Yeah.
smaller.
And dirtier.
Well, New York's still pretty damn dirty. I hear that they finally made. Actually, this is something. This is a fun little tale. About 2 weeks ago, they made taking a shit on the subways illegal.
Poggers. Wait.
Finally.
Why did they have to make that a
They
law?
had to make that a law. It was apparently New York was pretty bad for shit on the subways.
Damn it, Jimmy! This is the 7th time you shat on this train.
So any of the New York listeners out there, good on you, man. I hope the city becomes a little less stinky. But but work and housing conditions worsened, and significantly economic underclass developed. 55% of children born in the East End died before they were 5 years old. Robbery, violence, and alcohol dependency were a commonplace, and were an epidemic. Poverty drove many women to prostitution to survive on a daily basis. In October of 1888, London's Metropolitan Police Service estimated that there were 62 brothels and 1,200 women working the prostitution in Whitechapel, and approximately 8,500 people residing in the 233 common lounging houses within Whitechapel every night. That's 8,500 people, like within a 1-mile radius. Not even that, like
Jesus
half a
Christ.
mile radius. Just
Yeah.
fucking. You know how close we are right now? Imagine being a little bit closer, but 50 other people around you in one room. That's how it was back then.
Jeez.
So just VR chat
thanks.
world.
Yeah,
Pretty
know,
much.
basically.
What is gonna be later tonight?
Yeah.
That sounded so lewd.
With the nightly price of a single bed being $4 or for a penny, and the cost of sleeping upon a lean-into hangover rope stretched across was a 2 penny for adults and or children. So the economic problems in Whitechapel were accompanied by a steady rise of social tensions between 1886 and 1889. Frequent demonstrations led to police investigating and a public arrest, such as Bloody Sunday in 1887, an anti-Semitism crime.
Anti-assimilation crime?
It's SEMITISM.
Isn't assimilation whenever you like shove two things together?
Medic?
Okay. So they had a Bloody Sunday, which was anti-Semitism, crime, Nazism, racist, and social disturbance, and service deprivation influenced public perceptions that Whitechapel was the notorious den of immortality.
What?
Of immorality.
Immorality. Yes.
Oh my god, I'd say immortality.
I unread it. Like, wait a minute. It made me question. Like, wait a minute. What? Such a perception.
I know how I don't even have the page open, but I knew the word you were looking
They
for.
cannot die.
Yeah, exactly. This is why the Ripper had to be there to kill them, because they wouldn't die otherwise. Such perceptions were
bad he kills so
strengthened
little people.
in the autumn of 1888,
Yeah.
when the series of vicious and grotesque murders attributed to Jack the Ripper received unpredicted coverage in the media. So yeah, pretty much this place was a fucking shit show. Even worse than what the hell we are.
Sounds like it.
Can I also point out
That I
Jack
can't
the
read what the fuck.
Ripper supposedly had all of his murders and everything that they know of in the 1880s, correct?
It was 1888 to 1891.
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne Gacy and Ted Bundy both had their murders in 1970s to 1990s. Almost exactly 100 years later.
That's wild, isn't it?
Well, that's like basically.
I mean, isn't there
you
also
can make
like
the
that
same, you can make
pandemic
this,
thing?
You can make, yeah. I spoke
1920,
about
there
that
was a
whenever,
pandemic.
like,
Yeah, this isn't
one of
the
our
first
first
pandemic
episodes.
that the world has been through. You know that, right?
no, in
Fucking
1720
Black Plague.
pandemic, 1820 pandemic,
There's like
1920
Yep.
pandemic.
there's been a pandemic almost every
2020
100 years.
pandemic.
Everyone like back in the 1920s, I think it was swine flu.
Yeah, swine flu.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this 100 years in the future, good luck.
Have fun.
If in 100 years in the future there's another
There'll be a whole lot more podcasts by now.
What is the
maybe
name of that
maybe
thing?
we'll find the secrets of immortality. Maybe I'll be a robot.
Maybe I'll be dead.
No.
Finally,
Hopefully I'll be
I can
dead.
die.
Hopefully I'll be dead. I wanna live forever.
I can already tell you, like, right now, before I even reach the age of 60, I'm going to die of cirrhosis of the
poisoning.
liver. Yes.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Nero's just over there like,
Cheers
huh.
to that.
Hey, could you imagine like 30 years from now, say if the podcast does ever get going and we're doing this as a living, you know, other than what we do on Twitch, could you imagine us all getting together in a retirement home and just sitting there just sitting there fucking
Oh my god.
doing dumb shit, like daring Gal to flirt with one of the nurses or something?
You
Like,
remember when we talked about John Wayne Gacy?
Still doing a podcast?
with that.
We're,
Oh my
just
God,
going.
yes.
We're just going. Fucking doing wheelchair fucking races down the.
This is this is the Rabbit Hole Podcast, episode 5264.
Yeah.
Yep.
Today we're actually going to be doing wheelchair races.
Today on the Rabbit Hole Podcast, I can't find my blue pills.
Let's see how
I'm
many
walking.
times.
I've rolled over to a wall. I've always wanted to let you know how much I've loved you.
Let's
And I'm like petting the wall.
Oh my god.
Let's see how many times we can get the nurse to change Faze's diaper. Let's go.
Just hand me a bunch of Haribo laxative gummy bears.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, there's
I'm
gonna
sitting
be a
there
McDonald's,
eating
the
like
frickin-
a gallon of them.
No. Oh god. That's
Mid
love how we came
podcast.
All right, so
Let's make our bets. Who's going to die first?
who's gonna me?
Me.
I already said I'm counting on the age of 27 is when I'm dead.
I mean, I'm already the oldest,
You
so
think you're better than me?
You're not the oldest.
I am the oldest.
What is
How
this?
old
A
are you?
speed run?
I'm 25.
Oh, you are. Yeah, you are.
Bro,
the
am I
oldest.
the president
I'll be
to
turning
kick
25 in
in?
December.
Hi.
So
My roommates come fucking down the stairs, fucking gremlin mode. Hey, we're recording.
Tell your roommate that he needs to get VR and start doing the podcast with us too.
What the fuck is that? You stabbed a fucking metal corn thing through 4. Is that 4 or 3? 8 hay bales.
Hold up.
What?
Hold up. Hey, Rusty.
How did you count 4 or 3 and it wound up being 8?
Do you have
4 or 3? 8.
OBS? No.
OVR drop.
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh. Well, I was gonna
Who
say.
is their fucking camera
I just
on?
sent you guys a link. I want you guys to do some fucking reading now, damn it.
I'll
Wait,
do reading.
who's that over there?
I was wondering why you sent me a
that's
message
Nero.
suddenly.
Why is Nero overdoing?
So
have
now
my
we're
OVR drop
now
up.
we're getting well. We've told the backstory. We've told the area of what the area is. Now it's time to get into the. Now it's time to get into the murders.
This is also time when
I
Rusty
ain't
goes,
reading
goes
shit.
to sleep.
Oh, good
No,
night.
this is why I gave you an article to read. That way you can fucking not
I'm ready.
fall asleep. Hey,
Wow, I didn't get an article. Fuck.
do you have OVR drop open? And by the way, I'm not a fucking pillow. I can't see.
Mako, you just learned to accept it after a while.
Well, I couldn't
Yeah.
see.
All
I
I
could
can
see was
see-
the back of his head. And I was like,
All I can see for over
You're
half
app.
of our
I am now
recordings is
claiming it.
Rusty's head.
you can put your head in my lap, just don't fucking cover my fucking face.
Poggers! Fuck, how do I move? Hell yeah.
Come here.
Fuck.
There you go.
Wait, I need to
Fucking
move down as well.
rabbit lap.
That's
Ah.
fine. That's fine.
Hey, this is comfy as
I
shit.
got thick thighs.
Alright,
for
give me a
for
link.
Life, all right. All right. You want the
Should
link too?
shouldn't be it shouldn't be comfy. The guy has fucking thighs of steel.
You're not wrong. I love how I can see. I love how I can see Nero in the background whenever he starts talking.
That's what I was saying.
Like, he's just over there in VR. Like, what are you doing?
He's looking at the camera. He's just standing there menacingly.
menacingly.
That's how I feel about Gal's character right now.
Well, he's just
Gal's character hasn't moved at all and has been staring directly at me this entire podcast.
He's just
And all I see is his 2 eyes just
And it
staring
has
directly into
no
my
emotion,
soul.
no life in those eyes.
He's just standing there. Menacingly.
He's just standing there.
There, I got you. But all right, I do believe that yes, we are on to the. We got a good laugh. I'm glad that we got a good laugh because now we're on to the murders of Jack the Ripper.
Murder?
We are now on the murders of Jack the Ripper.
Are you going to be speaking in that
Murder.
entire accent as you read this first paragraph?
I could.
I mean, that would get.
Do it. Do it, coward.
The large number of attacks against women in the East End during this time
Please stop.
adds uncertainty.
Yep,
how
No, I
many
can't
victims-
understand a single word of what you're saying. I'm too tired for this shit.
Okay.
God, I feel like I'm gonna lose brain cells if you keep talking like that.
You haven't already?
Wait, we already don't have that many we
Yeah.
can spare, so please.
We have a collective of 3.
Huh? The large
Yeah,
number.
like
It-
three
it's, just, it's
rainbows.
just sad that I own all 3 of those. Haha, get fucked.
Maybe your last beer did. The large number of attacks against women in the East
Speaking
End
of-
during this time adds uncertainty to how many victims were murdered by the same
Murrayed.
individual.
Yo, this is. You
Jack
are
the
not
Ripper
the father.
murrayed them all.
You are not,
Okay.
Imagine how intense it would be if fucking Murray just stabbed him. You are not the
You are
father,
not the
stab.
mother. Stab.
Fuck! 11 separate murders stretching from April 3rd, 1888 to February 13th, 1891 were included in a London Metropolitan Police Service investigation and were known collectively in the police docket as the Whitechapel murders. Opinions vary as to whether these murders should be linked to the same culprit, But five of the 11 Whitechapel murders, known as the Canonical Five, are widely believed to be the work of Jack the Ripper. Most experts point to a deep slash wounds within the throat, followed by extensive abdominal, I can't say that word,
The
and
abdominal.
genital area mutilation. I'm
Abominable?
skipping it. The
Abdominal.
removal of
abominable- the
internal
abominable.
organs
Abdominal.
and progressive facial
Abominable.
mutilations as the distinctive features of the Ripper's modus operandi, or operandi, whatever you want.
Operandi.
The first two cases in the Whitechapel murders files, those of Emma Elizabeth Smith and Martha Tabram, are not included in the Canonical Five. You want me to keep going for this part?
Yeah.
I want to pick up. on
You wanna-
this.
you wanna
Where'd
pick
you
up?
leave off at?
Shoot, because they're about
Fucking lost.
the
This-
second paragraph where it starts talking about how they were being stabbed in the vagina. Go for it.
Ooh, poggers. Wait, what? Hold on.
Yo,
What?
we getting some
what-
pussy stabbing. Let's go.
Fuck.
As
What's the
soon as
first
Shreddy's
words?
like, I want to take over, and I'm like, I read the next paragraph. I'm like, oh.
Where's the first? What's the first fucking letter?
Smith was robbed and sexually
Smith
assaulted
was
in
robbed
Osborne
the
Street.
section- Yeah. It's the second.
is-
Second.
Look
second-
down in the
Yeah,
murders.
we're in the murders tab.
I am in the murders. I see. the
Second
Chronicle
paragraph.
Oh,
paragraph.
Smith. Oh, I was past. I was in the Chronicle 5. All right, Smith was robbed and sexually assaulted. That Osborne Street, Osborne
yes.
Street, Whitechapel, at approximately 1:30 a.m. on the 3rd of April, 1888. She had been bludgeoned about the face and received a cut to her ear. A blunt object was also inserted.
Oh God.
Why is that
Keep
funny?
going.
Why is that funny?
Keep
Imagine
going.
getting a blunt
Fucking
object
Shreddy.
inserted to your ass.
Fuck! That I was not expecting.
I
Fucking
tried to
Fred.
warn you.
A blunt object was also inserted into her vagina, rupturing her. What is that word? It's blurry.
God, it sounds like she got a
Petone-
huge
Petone-
chunk up there.
Peritoneum.
And the peritoneum. She developed
Peritonitis.
And died.
and died the following day at London Hospital. Smith stated that she had been attacked by 2 or 3 men, one of whom she described as a teenager. This attack was linked to later murders by the press, but most authors attributed Smith's murder in general East End gang violence unrelated to the Ripper case.
Let's see. Here's what's real fun on that about the street, Osborne Street.
Oh boy,
It's,
it's real fun indeed.
Well, not because of her, but Osborne Street. After that, after the whole incidents of all the things that happened on the Osborne Street, it was renamed to the Brick Lane.
Huh.
So Osborne Street does not exist anymore because of what happened back in the 1880s. So yeah.
I don't know. I read Osborne and I immediately think Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Crazy Train. But
That was just my instant thought.
I'm just going to go ahead. Let's just go ahead and read what we do know of the murders of Jack the Ripper, the Chronicle 5. So this is
We're gonna
Canonical.
skip all that.
yeah, we're doing the whole thing of Chronicle 5, and then we're gonna go to the investigation.
Canonical.
Canonical
Sorry.
5. Yes. Canonical.
I kept hearing canonical. I'm like, no.
Canonical. Chronicle? Yeah, whatever.
Canonical.
Canonical. Canonical fries. All right. So,
Oh God.
I mean,
Okay.
do we want
Canonical
to read
fries?
about?
What?
Do we want to read about? Tabram.
We're gonna
read about the Tabram
canonical fries.
we're gonna read
You know.
about the Chronicle fries because I'm illiterate as shit.
Chronicle?
The body of Mary Ann Nichols
Point proven.
was discovered at about 3:40 a.m. on Friday, 31st of August of 1888, in Bucks Row, now Durwood Street. Apparently, all of the streets around that area were all renamed. in Whitechapel, Nicholas was the last seen alive approximately 1 hour before the discovery of her body. Miss Emily Howard, with
Holland.
Holland, yes. With whom she had previously shared a bed in a common lodging house in Thrall Street. Walking in the direction of Whitechapel Road, her throat was severed by 2 deep cuts. One which completely severed all the tissue bone down to the vertebrae. Her vagina had been stabbed twice, and lower part of the abdomen was partly ripped open by a deep, jagged wound, causing her bowels to protrude. Several other incisions inflicted to both sides of her abdomen had also been caused by the same knife. Each of these wounds had been inflicted in a downward thrusting manner. So, all right, we're getting into the juicy shit.
I just want to point
murder.
out, I was following you reading, and then I saw you hit Spitalfields, and I just saw you immediately go, walking in the direction of Whitechapel. I'm gonna just skip that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip that. I just like,
Nope.
nah, whatever the fuck that is.
Word
Fuck
too
Spitalfields.
complicated.
All right, Spades, take over.
1 week later. No, I'm kidding. 1 week later, on Saturday, 8th September 1888, the body of Annie Chapman was discovered at approximately 6 a.m. near the steps to the doorway of the backyard of 29 Hadbury Street, Spitalfields. As in the case of Marianne Nichols, the throat was severed by 2 deep cuts. Her abdomen had been cut entirely open, with a section of the flesh from her stomach being placed upon her left shoulder, and another section of skin and flesh, plus her small intestines, being removed and placed above her right shoulder. Chapman's autopsy also revealed that her uterus and sections of her bladder and vagina had been removed.
That's wild. This is getting like this is fucking juicy, dude. Like, God.
This guy's getting
almighty.
fucking artistic with the bodies.
He's getting artistic with the bodies. Like, he's just like, all right, I'm going to take out this portion here. All
Why
right,
did
I
you
need to
go?
keep the-
Why did you go to an Indian accent?
Oh,
Hello, I am under the water.
Alrighty, I am going to now take out the left intestine.
that time.
Oh gosh.
I have to find out what's going on with your Microsoft account, so I have to remove your vagina. All right, there we go. We're just gonna put that over there.
Oh,
Just imagine, like, technology gets so advanced in the future. There's still tech support scammers. Alrighty, I'm just going to have to change your gender.
There we go. Oh boy.
Send Bob.
All right, your turn. You're on the next one.
Who?
You.
Oh, fuck, what? I thought Russick was also reading.
No.
Hell no, I don't have fucking OVR drop open.
He doesn't have OVR drop open.
Fine. I've got
Try to get the game to run okay.
Your first thing is at the inquest. So
Yep, at the inquest of Chapman's murder, Elizabeth Long described having seen Chapman standing outside 29th Hadbury Street at about 5:30 a.m. in the company of a dark-haired man wearing a brown deerstalker hat and dark overcoat, and a shabby, genteel appearance. According to the eyewitness, the man had asked Chapman the question, "Will you?" To which Chapman had replied, "Yes." Will you what? 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 Will you what? What will you do?
What do you want from me?
To which Chapman had replied, "Yes." Like, I was really hoping that you would have mixed up that
Yes.
sentence like I usually do and say shabby genitalia, and I was like, wait.
Oh my god.
Had a shabby genitalia appearance.
Also, I have a quick question. Why are we making fucking Gal read? He never fucking talks.
You know what? That's a good point.
Because can you really trust him to talk?
Because he's too much on his phone right now.
There is
No,
one in
he's
Gal
not.
fell asleep.
He literally.
Gal fell
I
asleep.
was watching him as we were going slowly sink further and further back into his chair, and then I just saw him not moving.
Wait, is he gone? Is he out?
He was.
He
Oh,
woke
he
up.
was.
I was out for a second.
What's up? Bitch, I'm fucking working on like an hour's sleep.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm going
Nero's
to
already done
work
enough talking.
tomorrow with like a half hour of sleep, so I feel that.
Jesus.
Dude,
But
I had no sleep. What the? don't know
I
what
slept
you
all
guys
fucking day
playing.
today. I felt pretty good today. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But Gal, we're at you're gonna read this part. Yes, we're at Elizabeth Stride. Elizabeth Stride on under the conical fries.
What number? There's numbers on this shit.
Chronicle
Number.
5.
Elizabeth
Hey, it's not
Stride.
43.
43.
Elizabeth's tried what number? They're
It-
women,
It's
not
just
numbers.
above 43.
Yeah, we're at the canonical
Okay.
5.
See it. Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Edwards. I think that's how you say it. Edwards. Okay, were both killed in the early Edwards. Were both killed in the early morning hours of
God.
Sunday, 30 September 1888. Stride's body was discovered at approximately 1 a.m. in Dutfield Yard. Is that what I'm saying?
doesn't matter.
Dutfield Yard. Like, I just want to point out, like,
Dutfield Yard.
Yeah.
whenever you see the numbers
Off
like that,
Burn-
like
Burnier
Sunday, the
Street.
30th of September of 1888.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also
Off
love how
Burnier Street.
you're like taking pronunciation from the guy that can't read them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
So you could be entirely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what am I saying?
Comments.
The
Tell
co-
us
the-
if we're wrong.
The cause of death.
Wait.
I forgot. This is why we
In
don't
the
have Gal read
Whitechapel,
shit.
basic. Yeah.
Yo,
it
Michael
was-
Lily's doing that. Send it to me.
I
I'll
told
read
him.
one too.
I told
The cause
you.
of death was a single clear-cut execution. I don't know. How to say that.
Incision.
Incision. Oh, measuring 6 inches across her neck and had severe into her left
Arteroid.
corduroid.
Or corroded? Corroded artery, I meant.
I say corroded artery in her
Trachea.
Yeah,
trachea.
if it's
before-
corroded, I mean she was also
Yep.
choked.
Yeah, before terminating beneath her right jaw. The absence of any further mutilations of her body had led uncertainly to whether Stride's murder was committed by the Ripper or whether he was interrupted during the attack. Several witnesses later informed police they have seen Stride in the company of a man or close to Burnier Street of the evening of 29th September in the early hours of the 30th of September. But each gave differing descriptions. Some said that her companion was fair, others dark. Some said that he was shabbily dressed, others well dressed.
You see, what's real fun here, like, at this point, I know I keep saying that fucking term, and I'm sorry, but,
Is it really fun?
I mean, back in this time, I mean, it was kind of fun for that area, but back in this time, some of these prostitutes didn't have homes. So you know where they were fucking? In literally the corner of an alley.
You're not wrong.
And apparently, there's some areas that you can go to in this area of London, and they'll be, like, you can go to some of these areas today, even though the names of the streets have been changed. But you can go to some of these areas, and you can, like, there's just, like, this very dark presence, like, there. Like, you can feel, like, it just doesn't feel right. You can feel emotions in these areas that you just cannot explain. But Edwin's body was found in Merrill Square, the city of London, 3/4 of an hour 3/4 of an hour after the discovery of the body of Elizabeth Stride, her throat was severed and her abdomen ripped open by a long, deep, and jagged wound before her intestines, yes, had been placed over her right shoulder.
Oh my god.
The right kidney was a major part of her uterus, had been removed, and her face had been disfigured, with her nose severed and her cheeks slashed, and cuts measuring a quarter of an inch, a quarter of an inch and a half of an inch, respectively, vertically yes.
I feel you.
Incised through
Oh my
each
God.
of her eyelids, a triangular incision of the apex, of which pointed towards Edward's eyes. Yes, had also been carved upon each of her cheeks, and sections of the auricle and lobe of her right eye was later recovered from her clothing. The police surgeon who conducted the post-mortem upon Edmund's body stated that in his opinion these mutilations would have taken at least 5 minutes to complete.
Now he's drawing on the bodies.
Yeah, so now he's just
Huh.
drawing on the bodies.
Art.
I try to get really creative in it, and then I get to words it's like
Bro.
Dear God, no!
I've become really illiterate, like, for a minute when I'm trying to be, like, that's my problem. That was one of my problems that I had when I was in acting school. Like, I could do the part real fine when reading from a script, I was like that in myself until I learned what I was supposed to say. I could memorize those words or memorize what I was saying, but at the same time, whenever I was reading straight from a script, I'd done that fucking shit a lot. Like, I was like, I have stuttering problems. I've always had stuttering problems.
Same here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know that, gal.
What do you want me to read next?
I guess we can do. Well, here, I'll go ahead and do this one too. A local cigarette salesman named Joseph named Joseph had passed through the square with 2 friends shortly before the murder, and he described seeing a fair-haired man of shabby appearance with a woman who may have been Edwards. Lawrence's Lawrence's companions were unable to confirm his description. The murders of Stride and Edmonds ultimately became known as the double event. So, what?
Why can't I figure out where the hell
Double kill.
you went?
Because now we are at, I'm just reading the last of Edmonds, but if you want, but would you like, here, I'll just go ahead and finish Edmonds, and then we'll go ahead and with the, we'll pick up with Mary Jane Kelly. But a section of Edwin's bloodied apron was found at the entrance of the tenement in Gloucester Street, Whitechapel at 2:55 a.m. A chalk inscription of the wall directly above the piece of the apron read, "The Jews of the Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." The graffito became known as the Gloucester Street graffito. 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 I'm just gonna get me
Oh
a
my
big
God.
burrito.
Oh my god.
Maybe even a hot tostito.
With a hot Cheeto.
Oh. The message implied that a Jew or Jews in general were responsible for the series of murders, but it is unclear whether the graffito was written by the murderer or dropped by a section of the dropping the section of the apron, or was merely cynical of nothing to do with the case. Such graffiti were commonplace in Whitechapel, and Police Commissioner Charles Warren, feared that the graffito might spark an anti-Semitic riots, and ordered the writing washed away before dawn. Alright.
Huh.
So yeah, there's the writing, and that's all that's left with Mrs. Edwin. So I guess we're gonna now pick up with Mary Jane Kelly. FaZe.
The extensively mutilated and disemboweled body of Mary Jane Kelly was discovered lying on the bed in a single room where she lived at 13 Miller's Court, off Dorset Street, Spitalfields, at 10:45 a.m. on Friday 9th November 1888. Her face had been hacked beyond all recognition, with her throat severed down to her spine and the abdomen almost emptied completely of its organs. Her uterus, kidneys, and one breast had been placed beneath her head, and another viscera from her body placed beside her foot, about the bed, and sections of her abdomen and thighs upon a bedside table. The heart was missing from the crime scene. Now, there's a fun, or not fun. I pulled a Mako.
You pulled a Mako on that one.
Wait, okay, so
There is actually a full-fledged photograph that the
scene.
police took of the crime scene, and you can actually see the actual dead body. And it doesn't even look like a body. It really... The only way you can tell it's a body is because there's sort of legs left,
And there's shorter clothing.
and there's sort of an arm there,
Yeah.
and you can see her hair attached to whatever used to be her face. But it literally looks...
Horrifying.
It looks like some form of scene from, like, Doom.
go ahead and Google it if you're brave enough.
Yeah.
That is.
Okay, I want to point out something. So, Jack the Ripper cut off this girl's tit and then placed it under her head like a pillow, right?
Oh, no.
Oh no.
What
Where's
the
this
Oh,
going?
no. Oh, no.
I'm just pointing out that detail. It's not a tangent or anything.
Okay. I'm just pointing out the detail.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's good to know. I guess uterus, kidneys, and breast are good pillows.
I mean,
Question mark.
No.
I'm like,
why did we
question
go
mark.
this
I mean-
route?
that's
I have to look up what a viscera is.
It's like an organ.
I know, but which one?
Any organ.
Oh, it's just another word for organ. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually see like the end table and all her thigh that's been put on the end table, and you can actually see the surgical cut on
okay,
her
I'm
thigh.
Curious. I'm curious.
The picture's
You
right
can-
there.
It's
The
not-
thing
the
about
pictures
the-
aren't loaded for me.
The thing about the photo too, you can actually see,
Never
other
mind.
than her face, which literally just looks like somebody smashed her face in with a
Oh,
boulder.
there is it. What the fuck?
Like the cuts on her legs and stuff are actually like very surgical. It is a perfect cut. And the fact he
Yeah.
did this with a jagged knife is horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
talent.
I wonder if.
That's just mastery of your tools right there.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, what's making me like? I want to know, like, where was? I want to know if these women were dead before he started cutting their legs off.
That is exactly what I started thinking as soon as I started.
I'm pretty sure
reading.
they were because they said they died from getting the throat slit.
Yeah.
He basically slit their throat to kill them, and then dissected what was left of their corpse.
That's,
Yeah, basically.
And then he ran away with her heart.
Yep,
that's
he
crazy.
took her
That's
heart
one way to get a girl.
and ran away.
Oh no! Oh no! This is not fucking Tom Petty rest in peace music. All right, let's
He took her heart and ran away.
take her heart and ran away. I'm free, free fall.
Oh god.
Rest in
The
peace to
question
the
is,
To the Tom
Did
Petty.
he? I wonder if he like kept her heart whole or not.
That is a good
It's an
question.
odd thing to wonder because he could potentially have taken her heart, ran away, and became a heartbreaker all at once.
Oh God.
And free.
Hey, Faith, remind me to stab you whenever we meet up.
Say again. You said you're good. What?
Remind me to make sure that the door is locked whenever we're in the same room with FaZe. If we're going to be spending the night.
You think a door would stop me?
Oh God!
You think a door would stop me? What?
You saw it in the
We'd make a
selfie
great
I took.
murder
I'm
duo.
literally the size of a freaking door.
I got a quick thing. If we're gonna be doing like a hotel room like together, like I think it's gonna be like a complete waste of like there's gonna be foods everywhere around the fucking hotel room.
You're not wrong.
From you.
you.
Yeah, we're gonna be cleaning
For
up your shit
sole
the entire
reason.
time.
Shred, if you could continue from the
It's like
extensively
3 or 4
mutilated.
trash bags of food.
Ooh. All right. What word?
I just read
Extensively
that part.
mutilated. Oh wait, you did?
Yeah, you should be doing the.
Oh
Each of
yeah,
the,
my bad. It should
each
be
of the
on
canonical
each,
5.
Yeah, each of the canonical 5. My bad.
Each of the canonical 5 murders was perpetrated at night on or close to a weekend, either at the end of the month or a week or so after the mutilations became increasingly severe as the murders proceeded. Except
For that of Stride.
for that of Stride, it's fucking taking forever to load on my end because it's like wanting to be like and jump back to the top. Whose attacker may have been interrupted? Nichols was not missing any organs. Chapman's uterus and sections of her bladder and vagina were taken, and Edon's had her uterus and left kidney removed and her face mutilated. And Kelly's body was extensively eviscerated, with her face gashed in all directions, and the tissue of her neck and being severed to the bone, although the heart was the sole organ missing from this crime scene.
Fun fact.
Jeez, fucking
If you look at the FBI Bureau of Investigation and how they do investigations, they said that this murder is actually how they would have been able to catch Jack the Ripper if it would have happened in modern day.
Oh yeah.
Because of how extensive the mutilation is compared to all the rest of the murders, and the fact that there is a piece of her that was taken, he knew this lady.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He knew this chick. He had some sort of connection to this chick.
And there's a high chance, based off of how serial killers and psychopaths work, whatever happened between him and her is the reason he started killing.
Mm-hmm. So he went to the source.
Yep.
Just like how some serial killers go back and kill their moms, which we'll find out later on in future episodes that we do of serial killers. But
no.
but Nero, if you could go, it's your turn.
Historically, the belief that these 5 canonical murders were committed by the same perpetrator is derived from contemporary documents, which links them together to the exclusion of others. In 1894, Sir Melville McNaughton, something like that,
Oh, male Mickadagan. Yeah.
Assistant Chief Constable of the Metropolitan Police Service and head of the Criminal Investigation Department (CID), wrote a report that stated the Whitechapel murders had 5 victims and 5 victims only. Similarly, the canonical 5 victims were linked together in a letter written by police surgeon Thomas Bond to Robert Anderson, head of the London CID, on November 10, 1888. Some researcher.
Wait, you want to do that last one?
I'll just finish this.
All right.
Some researchers have posited that some of the murders were undoubtedly the work of a single killer, but an unknown larger number of killers acting independently were responsible for the other crimes. Others, Stuart P. Evans and Donald Rumbelow, wow, argued that the Canonical Five is a Ripper myth, and that these three cases, Nichols, Chapman, and Eddowes, can definitely be linked to the same perpetrator, but that less certainly exists as to whether Strides and Kellys were also murdered by the same individual. Conversely, anyway, others suppose that the 6 murders between Tabram and Kelly were the work of a single killer. Dr. Percy Clark, assistant to the examining pathologist George Baxter Phillips, linked only 3 of the murders, and though that the others were perpetrated by a weak-minded individual, induced to emulate the crimes. McNick did not join the police force until it's fucking wait.
That's
Where's
a
his
hard
name?
fucking name. I'm just gonna call him Mac.
Mac. Okay,
Are you talking about
Mac
Melville
did not join the
McNagden?
Magnagden, yeah.
Did not join the police force until the years after the murders, and his memorandum contains serious factual errors about possible suspect.
Well, see, this is like these murders were said that they were linked and everything, and then people like to think that the first 3 are murders by the same guy, and then the other 2 were copycat serial killers or copycat killers in this case. And
Attempted
copycat killers.
Should we just jump to investigation?
Well, is there much of an investigation other than what we just said?
I mean, it says they started resurfacing files or something. Oh no, they were destroyed. Never mind. I'm an idiot.
By the way, welcome back, Gal.
A lot of them destroyed.
Welcome back to the land of the
Like mostly, like there was just all kinds of there was all kinds of more to it. I guess
fucking left.
we can make a part 2.
Actually, I went to the
there's
restroom.
still
I went
so
to go
much
lock
left.
I actually went to the restroom and locked the doors because I'm the only one at home.
Okay, you're fine
now.
then.
Yeah, but
Don't worry,
Yeah,
the ghost
you're
is
fine.
in your room already.
Could this be
No,
a
I was
It's
also
in your room
getting
already,
food.
there is no
I was making
escape.
food too.
could this be a secondary part?
I wish I had a
Part 2
headset so I could
series?
hear you guys, but no.
We can do another part 2.
I'm thinking about
Just a
I'm thinking about- I think
mukbang
we-
featuring
I think we
Cal.
should do another
You
part 2.
we
Let's do another.
could.
Let's do another.
There's a little bit of an investigation, and there's a
That's
couple like later murders, but none of them have to do with him per se.
Per se of the
Actually,
Jack the
yeah, no.
Ripper.
Let's just wrap this up. Let's just wrap this up. If it's only an investigation of possible murders,
Yeah,
Well,
it's because
I don't
the,
think-
other
yeah.
victims
Rustic went
were
super
basically just
robot.
killed.
Well, I'll wrap it up with this right here. The nature of the
Can
Ripper
I?
murders and improvised lifestyle of the victims drew attention to the poor living conditions in the East End, and the galvanized public opinion against the overcrowded and insanitary slums. In the 2 decades after the murders, the worst of the slums were cleared and demolished. But the streets and some of the buildings survived, and the legend of the Ripper is still promoted by the various guided tours of the murder sites and other locations pertaining to the case.
I look, you kind of want to go there.
For
That
many
would
years.
actually be a lot of fun.
The 10 Bells Public House in the Commercial Street, which had been frequently used by at one point by the conical Ripper victims, was focused on each of the tours. In the intermediate aftermath of the murders and later, Jack the Ripper became the children's boogeyman. Descriptions were often fantasized or monstrous. Of him being monstrous in the 1920s and 1930s. He was depicted in the film dressed in everyday clothing as a man with a hidden secret, preying on his unsuspecting victims, and atmosphere of evil were suggested through the lighting effects and shadow play. By the 1960s, the Ripper had become the symbol of the predatory straws, whatever the fuck these words are, and was more often portrayed in a top hat dressed as a gentleman. The establishment as a whole became the villain, where the Ripper, acting as the manifestation of the upper class exploitation, the Ripper can fuse with multiple genres, ranging from Sherlock Holmes and Japanese erotic horror. Wait.
Wait. Wait. What?
What? The fictional world of the Ripper can fuse with multiple genres, ranging from Sherlock Holmes to Japanese erotic horror.
Huh.
Huh. That means there's hentai of the horror out there. Of the...
Weird.
It's the internet, gal. Look it up.
Jack the
I mean,
Ripper
you're not wrong there.
features hundreds of works of fiction, and the works which straddled the boundaries between fact and fiction, including the Ripper Letters and Hulk's Diary, the Diary of the Jack the Ripper. The Ripper appears in novels, short stories, poems, and comic books, genre games, songs, plays, operas, television programs, and films, and more than 100 non-fictional works deal exclusively with Jack the Ripper murders, making it one of the most written about true crime subjects. That the term Ripperology was coined by Colin Wilson in the 1970s to describe the study of the case of professionals and amateurs. The periodical Ripperania, Ripperologists, and Ripper Notes published their research. In 2015, the Jack the Ripper Museum opened in East London. There was no waxwork figure of the Jack the Ripper, and at the Mondre...
No, there was fucking wax figure of all of his victims.
Yeah, but the Chamber of Horrors, unlike the numerous murderers of lesser fame, in accordance with their policy of not modeling persons whose likeness is unknown, he is instead depicted as a shadow. In 2016's BBC History magazine, its readers selected Jack the Ripper as the worst in Britain, the worst Briton in history. So basically, the actual murderer of Jack the Ripper, he got away.
Yeah.
He was never found. He was never caught. He died an old man, or he got crazy and got stabbed himself, or whatever. The actual Ripper just kept the legacy and continued on because no one knew who he was. He could still be out there. He's
No, it was 200 years ago.
He's 150 years old, but he could still be out there.
Alright.
But that's
Should we
Jack
wrap
the
up?
Ripper.
Yep.
That was really tasteful.
Yeah. It's full of excitement and vaginas. Really.
Excitements and vagina. Okay. I think Shred died.
Women and vaginas.
Shred died.
Like father, like son.
No. You passed
Or
out
like
to
son,
the,
like father.
you
You are still up.
you
fucker.
you passed out.
I'm honestly, when you guys were reading the descriptions of the murders, I was falling asleep.
You passed out to the descriptions of murderers in
Last episode.
John Wayne Gacy, and now your father has passed out here in the description of the murders. And you know what? I'm gonna do the same to him as I did to you. God damn it! Why do I always fucking spill fucking beer while I'm in VR?
Why have
You fucking leave it next to your feet. I love how we could just see him pick up a towel, fucking throw it on the ground, and just.
I thought you were gonna go to the fucking motion. What the fuck?
Ba-doink.
Alright. Well, that's gonna be it for us today. Shred!
Father. Father.
Did Shred just die?
Shred!
He's passed out.
Shred!
Holy shit.
Yeah, okay, we didn't need that now.
I think Shred's a heavy sleeper, so we're not gonna be able to fucking get him up.
Well, that's gonna be it for us today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for listening and watching here on YouTube and Spotify. We hope that you guys are enjoying what we got going on here with these dark and spooky times. Jack the Ripper is done for now, but we may come back to him later on into the future. You never know. The next episode, guys, is going to be our creepy pastas or listener pastas. So if you guys have anything that you guys want to suggest, throw it in the suggestion tab of the Mr. Mako Discord or the Rabbit Hole Discord, both of which will be linked in the description below. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening, and until next time, remember to always hell yourself!
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Take care, peeps.
Have a good one.
As Shred would say, I really
Now
Archie.
it's time. It's time to rip
This
out
is
Shred's
hilarious.
vagina.
Okay, I just want it to be known. I look on the screen, and of course, Gal's eating something, and then all of a sudden I just look over and Shreddy's zonked. I'm like, all is right in the world?
All is right in the world.